The blood that binds the curse. In the sun-drenched village of Umura, Neka was a beacon of hope. Her hands, stained with the green of crushed herbs and the yellow of turmeric, possessed a magic that felt like a warm embrace. She spent her days in a small hut on the village edge, grinding roots to soothe fevers and chanting softly to mend broken spirits. To the children of the village, her voice was the sound of safety, a melody that kept the night terrors at bay. But the sun does not stay high forever. When a strange, wasting sickness swept through the cattle and turned the yams to black rot, the air in Umura curdled with suspicion. Eze, the village elder, whose heart was as rigid as the iron staff he carried, pointed a trembling finger at Neneka's hut. He claimed her healing was a veil, a mask for the dark arts that were sucking the life from the land. Fear, swifter than any disease, turned her neighbors into a mob. Without a trial, Neka was cast out. The villagers drove her toward the boundary where the sunlight died, the edge of the evil forest. "Witch!" they cried, their voices a jagged chorus of hate. Eze struck the earth with his staff, marking a line she could never cross again. Neka looked back once, her eyes searching for her young daughter, Ifeoma, but the girl was being held back by heavy hands, her small cries lost in the roar of the crowd. The evil forest did not kill Neka, it unmade her. In the suffocating silence of the ancient trees, her grief fermented into a poisonous rage. The shadows of the forest crawled into her skin, drinking her tears and filling her veins with cold, liquid darkness. She felt her bones lengthen, and her voice dissolve into a low, guttural growl. Nika, the healer, was gone. In her place, a creature of smoke and sorrow began to knit itself together from the rot of the woods. Years passed, and the village of Umura forgot the name Neneka, but they could not forget the shadow. It came at night, a towering silhouette that moved without a sound. It did not just steal livestock, it stole the very peace of the village. The creature would loom over the walls, its presence bringing a chill that froze the breath in one's lungs. The villagers whispered that the forest had sent a demon to collect the debt of their cruelty. The shadow's vengeance was systematic. It withered the crops with a touch and soured the milk in the pails. But its most terrifying habit was the way it lingered outside the homes of those who had screamed the loudest during the banishment. It would scratch at the doors with claws of obsidian, a rhythmic haunting sound that drove the occupants to the brink of madness. The village was dying, not from sickness this time, but from the weight of its own past. Ifeoma, now a young woman with the same steady hands her mother once possessed, was the only one who did not hide. She remembered the scent of the herbs and the melody of the healing songs. While the village huddled in terror, she spent her nights in the old, abandoned hut on the edge of the woods, studying the journals her mother had left behind. She realized the shadow wasn't a demon from the forest. It was a soul trapped in a cage of its own pain. One moonless night, when the shadow's wails echoed through the valley, Ifeoma walked out of the village gates. She carried no weapon, only a small ceramic vial and a silver blade. She entered the evil forest, the branches catching at her clothes like skeletal fingers. The air grew heavy and cold, smelling of damp earth and old bitterness. Deep in the heart of the woods, she found the clearing where the darkness was thickest. Shadow descended, a mountain of darkness looming over the girl. It bared teeth of jagged ice and let out a roar that shook the trees. Ifeoma did not flinch. "Mother," she whispered, the word cutting through the creature's rage like a ray of sun. She took the silver blade and drew it across her palm. As the blood welled up, she reached out, pressing her red-stained hand against the creature's cold, smoking chest. "The blood that binds the curse must be given freely," she sang, the old healing melody returning to her lips. The transformation was agonizing and beautiful. The shadows began to drain from the creature, flowing into Ifeoma's hand, turning her own veins black as she took the burden upon herself. For one brief, shimmering moment, Nanika's human face appeared, tearful and full of love, as she cradled her daughter's face. Then, with a final, soft sigh, both figures began to fade into the mist of the forest. The curse was broken, the village was saved, but the woods remained silent, guarding the secret of the healer who gave everything, and the daughter who brought her home.